Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today it's the guide for beginners and maybe intermediates. We'll be talking about increasing damage with melee weapon specifically, and it doesn't really matter if you are a melee build or you just want to use some kind of a melee weapon from time to time. You can increase melee damage greatly if you know what affected the most. Let's start from some basics. If you go under your stat tab and then scroll to special, strength is the one stat that is super important for you because it does boost your melee damage. Every extra point of strength you can see in here increase your melee damage, and that's under this tab. That's your final strength that is being used as a multiplier to melee damage. And just a quick important note here, you should remember that all the damage bonuses are basically additive, which means you add all your bonuses first and then apply it to weapon-based damage, with some exceptions when we start talking about energy portion of the damage. Like for example, this gauntlet, because it does have energy portion of the damage, for a reason I don't know yet, the energy portion of the damage is boosted more than the ballistic portion of the damage by your bonuses. What's the reason? I don't know, but it makes weapon with some kind of energy damage better than purely ballistic, at least at this moment if you are heavily boosted. Now second and the most important, it will be Incisor, as this perk offers insane 70% armor penetration, and that's huge in case of melee weapons, all the melee weapons. This is the one and most powerful of all the perks. Then we need to mention as well martial artists that do not increase damage but allow you to swing faster, then you hit more often. And depend what weapon you are using, you can of course use standard perks that boost this weapon damage. For unarmed is only one perk, Iron Fist. For other weapon types, you will be able to take a standard, expert and master version of the card. And it can look like an arm will be weaker because only one card, but cannot be farther from the truth. There is way more multipliers for an arm damage than any other source of damage, therefore it's the strongest and not the weakest. After strength and perks, there are mutations that will further boost your melee damage. In case of all melee weapons, including unarmed, you can use Twisted Muscles for 25% extra damage, assuming you are on a team with Strength in Numbers perk equipped. And then there is Talons that do apply only for unarmed weapons, but gives you additional 25% damage boost and extra bleed damage, equal to 50 true damage over time. And I will not list all the universal damage booster, but I will mention in here anything like Adrenal Reaction that boost damage of all the weapons do apply to melee as well, obviously. Then, therefore, everything that boosts your overall damage will boost your damage with melee weapons. Now, just very quickly about legendary effects. Due to the fact that energy damage on melee weapons with current game build is very important to maximize your damage output, the best legendary effect, the best prefix, is anti-armor. Not what I have in here. The best is anti-armor. On top of that, you can roll +1 strength on your melee weapons, although if you already have high strength and a lot of bonuses, you will barely notice any difference by just boosting your strength up 1 point. It's only important if you go for absolute min-max on your damage. Way more important is a second star that you want either swing speed, more power attack damage, or eventually for some cases 25% more damage while standing still. And now we are going to cover the biggest but temporary bonuses. One thing you should know before you start using your temporary bonuses, if you are melee and you want to do a lot of damage, Carnivore is a mutation that's basically required, as it doubles the bonuses from food, and food category is the biggest to boost your damage from melee weapons. Temporary, but the highest bonus. Now when we go into the cooking station and the category meat, there are multiple meats that can boost your melee damage. starting from something quite obvious like Deathclaw, Wellington on Deathclaw Steak, as those are boosting your strength, and 8 strength does make a difference. Then you will find a series of food that have this description on the bottom. Melee damage increased by 10%, plus 10%. It's a base value. This description is a base value. If you are a carnivore with Strength in Number equipped on a team, this value in practice will be 25%. Then that's a lot from just one food type. And what's even more important, when you start stacking those buffs like this glowing meat steak plus this mutant hound chops, you will get both bonuses that will give you 50% bonus. Then you can add on top of that mutant hound stew. Even though it's from the same piece of meat, you will add additional 37.5% damage from this, whooping total at this moment 87.5%. Then you can add mutton chops for additional 25. At this moment 112% damage, and then mutton meat pie for additional 37.5%. We are looking at 150% damage boost. Then you can get Yao Guai ribs for additional 25%, 175% damage boost total, and Yao Guai roast additional 37.5, whooping total of 212% damage, 212% bonus damage, just from food alone. Then you can see how important it is. It will give you higher boost than all the possible perks in total that you can equip for your build. After that we have chems that can boost your damage for a shorter duration of time, like Psychotats or Psycho Buff. Any of those will give you 25% damage bonus. And finally, legendary perks, like Hack and Slash. This perk will basically double your damage as area of effect explosion. If you max it out, you will get 50% chance that if you attack enemy in VATS, there will be explosion doing your damage again, but as area attack, and this extra damage applied to your initial target as well. Therefore, let's say your normal swing will be able to get target down to half of his health. If you will be lucky and trigger explosion, it will be kill instead. Legendary strength for the reason we already mentioned. Even if you already have really high strength, extra 5 strength on top of everything, it's always a little bit more damage. Then there is a Brawling Chemist. Generally, I do not recommend. It offers you a chem, similar effect to like Psycho Buff, Psychotats, a little bit more damage. Not really worth it. Then there is Exploding Palm if you are using unarmed weapons. It does give you extra damage, but not as powerful and Hack and Slash, as this damage here is fixed. It's not based on your weapon and only 20% chance to trigger. Yes, it is an extra damage. But if you are already boosting your damage to the maximum, you will not notice big difference. And lastly, collateral damage. This will cause enemies to explode. That's quite a significant amount of damage that will be dealt in the area, but still not as powerful and Hack and Slash. It does make some sense to use if you are not using VATS and you still want to have those explosions helping you out. Chance again, only 20% when max out. Up to you. If you want it, it can help you out. But definitely not a necessary, not a must-have perk. And the perks I mentioned before, Strength in Numbers, this is required if you want to play on a team and boost your mutations. That includes Carnivore Mutation. That's how those food buffs are giving you such a huge bonuses. Instead of 10%, they're giving you 25%, as Carnivore doubles it, and Strength in Numbers gives you extra 25%. And here I will give you some example of the buffs. At this moment, my Gauntlet is doing 346 ballistic, 43 energy. I will use some food buffs. Now you can see that I applied 4 easily accessible buffs. They last for 30 minutes. Each of them gives me 25% to a whopping total of 100% damage bonus. Now if I show you this weapon again, you can see damage went up, but definitely not doubled. As I said before, this damage bonus is first added to all your damage bonuses, then applied to weapon base damage. But what you can notice, my energy portion of the damage went up significantly faster than my ballistic portion of the damage, upsetting the balance of those weapons. As I said, promoting the weapons with energy damage. More energy damage your melee weapon have, the better it is to further boost. By doing just a quick comparison, Deathclaw Gauntlet is at this moment falling behind just because the Settler's Gauntlet have crazy amount of energy damage due to all those boosts, and even though if you compare those two weapons, the Gauntlet with Deathclaw Gauntlet, without any damage bonuses, Deathclaw Gauntlet seems like more powerful choice. If you start applying those bonuses, this one is going ahead, especially if you add anti-armor legendary effect that greatly helps with energy portion of the damage to actually get through the resistance. Then here you go, guys. I hope it's helpful guide for you if you want to try your adventure with melee builds. I have plenty of melee builds on my channel as well. Feel free to check them out. This guide is to help you out, put everything together and actually go stronghold those enemies and start one-hitting them. And that's everything for this video. Therefore, thank you a lot for watching and see you all in the next one.